Welcome back to the Dark Reading News Desk at Black Hat USA 2025. Terry Sweeney here, contributing editor with Dark Reading, and joining us now on the stage is Kash Shaikh, CEO and President of Securonix. Kash, thank you so much for joining us on News Desk.
Terry, thank you for having me.
Let's start off with fixing a problem. That problem, of course, is what's broken in SecOps today. Why hasn't this been fixed yet? What are your thoughts there?
Good question. And that's top of mind for the CISOs and the analysts in the SOC. And what we have heard from prospects and the users and the practitioners is actually three things. First and foremost, a lot of noise, a lot of false positives.
Sure.
And alert fatigue is a real thing. Number two, the challenge is difficult to find the talent. So for the CISOs in the SOC,
of course,
they have to do a lot of things, and finding talent is hard. And last but not least, attack surface is increasing. While AI has benefits, it is allowing the attackers to attack deep, harder, and hide deeper, which creates challenges for the CISOs, and CISOs are personally responsible for the breaches, as you know,
right.
And they are accountable to the board,
right.
Not even just the CEOs.
Well, the question about broken SecOps also suggests that IT and SOC professionals continue to be not on the same page. Are you seeing any movement there?
Yeah, definitely. That's a challenge because obviously SOC has a responsibility as well as IT has their responsibility when it comes to cyber. We see, especially in large enterprises, there is progress, as in large enterprises are considering combining their teams in a way that they have similar reporting structure or whatever that can create more alignment between the CIO and the CISOs, which obviously if you have the alignment at the top helps you having the same priorities and clarities on how you attack this problem from the IT perspective. Sure. Or the SecOps perspective.
Do you see a similar disconnect between CIOs and CISOs at the board level?
There are. I mean, the challenge is there are so many aspects of cyber, right?
Right.
There is risk, there is governance, and all the other things that go along with it, and there are so many aspects that are needed. And at the end of the day, they are challenged with the amount of attacks that are happening. There is also a challenge that the security data continues to increase, right? CISO's budgets are not increasing, or even if it is CIO's budget is not increasing 30%, 40%. So that's a challenge on its own, which creates, challenges such as lack of alignment, because the CIO has to worry about the things he or she is responsible for. CISOs have to worry about the things they are responsible for.
Sure.
And when you are not having to be given the budget as much as you need, which is not practical for the organizations, right? The organizations cannot continue to invest unlimited amount of dollars in cybersecurity. So those are some of the high-level challenges that I've experienced with the CIOs and the CISOs.
Let's shift gears and talk about AI, which I think we can agree continues to be the dominating theme of Black Hat and really across the industry. From your perspective, what should buyers be demanding from their vendors and their service providers where all their different AI requirements are concerned?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And even if we are one of the vendors, we believe in providing the right advice to our buyers and prospects. Mm-hmm. Our advice we generally give to the buyers is, everybody's talking about AI, everybody tells they have the best AI in their product.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, when they buy it, they still run into the challenges of getting breaches. And the breaches cost them, based on one of the study, at least $5 million for enterprises or more, whether it is their brand getting impacted and all that. So while there is all this noise about AI and 5,000 cybersecurity vendors, and even with the investment, the breaches are happening. So the advice we give to our CISOs and the buyers is, first of all, don't just buy into the hype. It is really critical to their jobs as well as their businesses. Spend enough time in evaluating what's marketing, what is really helpful for them. So a very detailed proof of concept, even if it sounds like as basic, is a must-have in my view for the CISOs before they decide on whatever cybersecurity their product or whatever AI that vendor is selling it or trying to sell it to them. Do enough reference checks with the other customers, other CISOs, because again, they may not get what been promised to them.
Sure.
And more importantly, be clear on what they are trying to achieve, because the challenge with cybersecurity is you cannot get the coverage against everything.
Right.
If the attacker has decided they are going to target a company or an organization, they will figure out a way.
Right.
So depending on your priorities and business priorities, align whether it is AI or overall product, cyber product, with the priorities of the organization, and do enough due diligence before they acquire a product that can meet those priorities or their objectives.
Good stuff. What's your message to CISOs who've been burned by empty promises and what essentially amounts to shelfware?
Message, as we discussed, is do the due diligence. Be clear on your priorities, because there are so many tools available in the market. They may not deliver what they are being promising. So very clear requirement, very clear due diligence on the vendor, and ask them for the references in terms of, have you done similar solutions, have you provided similar solution to enterprises or companies like themselves. And also think about how they can leverage while there is a lot of hype with AI, at the same time there is a lot of value AI can provide if done right. For example, Gen AI agents for a product like SIEM, security, information and event management, can automate the jobs of some of the analysts. So they can reduce the workload on the analysts. So the analysts, rather than focusing on the noise, false positives, as I said, they can be much more effective in focusing on high value breaches that may be happening in the environment. But again, rather than just buying the hype, make sure the vendor really actually have those Gen AI agents, bring them in your sandbox environment, do the POCs before you select what the solution is real, it is effective, it is providing the benefits that the vendor claimed it provides.
All right, well, let's drill down a little bit on AI and automation. I mean, this is the key selling point, it seems, for so many AI solutions. And my question doesn't doubt that or question it. What else does AI bring to the table that isn't all tied to automation? What other features or functions or benefits from where you sit do you see?
Yeah, actually it's a very good question, because there is a lot of discussion about how it can bring operational efficiency, as in you don't need as many analysts, or you can reduce the workload of the analysts. We believe that's part of the benefit if done right. The other part is the effectiveness of the tool. Because as an example, in our SIEM, we have a noise canceling agent. That noise canceling agent at the high level, what is really doing, it's making the SIEM much more accurate in detecting the right threats. Okay. So the efficacy of the product can also be improved. If done right, the efficacy of the product is also obviously helpful, that you are detecting all the threats that are in your environment, which is good for your business and good for your job, because as I said, CISOs are personally held accountable for the breaches that happen in their enterprise.
All right. Kash, take us out with some talk about this strategic shift that we're seeing in cyber. If you could talk a little bit about what this shift is about, and also if there's a message underneath all of it, what is it?
Yeah, at the high level, the shift that is happening is attackers are using AI, and the attacks are becoming commoditized, unfortunately.
Right.
There is a ransomware-as-a-service that they can easily acquire. They don't need to be an expert in cyber, like used to be these attackers were really an expert in cybersecurity. Since these are commodity tools that are available for the attackers to attack the enterprises, CISOs also have to be very well prepared. They have to figure out how they use AI to defend against this commodity AI attacks and how the attack surface is increasing. If they are using the tools that are AI tools, look into the security of those tools as well, because who's protecting those agents? The vendors you are using, are they providing the security for the tools in addition to providing the security for the enterprise? So those are high-level things that they should care about. And the last but not least, be targeted at what you're trying to protect.
Sure.
Use the tools that can help you, whether they are simulation tools or other tools that can help you identify and align with your objective, whether it is phishing, whether it is ransomware, or it may be both. But
Sure.
don't try to focus on all the areas, be very targeted, and do enough due diligence before you acquire the tools.
That's great stuff, Kash. Thanks so much for joining us on News Desk today. Really appreciate the insights and perspective around SecOps and AI, of course. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Terry. It was a pleasure.
We've been talking with Kash Shaikh of Securonix. This has been Terry Sweeney with the Dark Reading News Desk. Thanks for joining us for this segment. We'll see you next time.